box and take a look at Louisbourg, 1758. This is from Worthington Publishing, Worthington Games. This is a block game. Imagine that. Worthington has some games that are very similar to block games, but I don't really think they do a ton of block games. And I have not covered a block game in a while, so I'm kind of glad they sent this to me. And I want to thank Grant of Worthington for sending this to me. I reached out to him and asking about Gettysburg, their latest in the Brigade Battle Series, which I covered a week or so ago by the time I post this. And he says, I'll send you a whole box of stuff. So thank you, Grant. And now I'm catching up on that whole box of stuff. And today, it's Louisbourg. It says right here, the Siege of, let's go in a little bit closer so you can read along with me as we take a look at this. The Siege of Louisbourg in 1758 was one of the most important contests of the French and Indian War. Louisbourg protected the St. Lawrence River, gateway into New France. French possession of the fortress ensured the safety of Quebec and Montreal from the British fleet carrying British armies into the interior. Greatly outmanned and outgunned, the French focused on defending Louisbourg as long as possible to prevent a campaign in 1758 against Quebec. Game overview. Louisbourg 1758 is a two-player game on the campaign to take the fortress. One side commands the British, while the other commands the French. The object of the game is to occupy for the British player to occupy the fortress of Louisbourg with their army, or occupy Louisbourg harbor with their ships. The French goal is to prevent the British from achieving their objectives by the end of the game. As you can see here, we'll take a look at that. Here's some of the blocks. Your typical kind of block format where you're going to have your strength points and you'll rotate to show step losses. I imagine it's probably a dice and hit game, but we'll see when we take a look at that. When I say that, that's the number of dice you roll to see the damage. But again, we'll take a look at that inside. It says the complexity is low. Let's go back out. So now we can see a little bit better. The complexity is low, and solitaire suitability is just a step above low, because you do have hidden information. When you have a block game, by its very nature, you're going to have hidden information. Take a look at the map. We'll get a better view when we get the box open there, but that map is looking quite nice. I like it. As with most block games, it's going to be kind of a point-to-point type system, it looks like here, with some tracks and holding boxes. So there you have it. That is the back of the box. Let's get inside the box and see what we have in store for us today. Again, thank Grant. I really like Worthington Games. I like their quality. They have some of the best quality in the industry, and they have generally low complexity games. This fits into that low complexity game as well. I like that because not everybody wants a number cruncher, and they give you a feel for the engagement, give you a chance to learn the history without having to wade through 30, 40, 50 pages of rules. But if that's not your taste, then so be it. That's okay too. This is a thick box and hard to get open there. Man, it's tight box, very thick, nice sturdy box. You need a sturdy box for blocks. We go there. So there is the rule book, and we're going to have two of those because that's typical Worthington fashion. Hey, you got two players, why not two rule books? So here, the rule book is 12 pages with a sequence of play on back there. And looks like you might, I don't know if you have a setup or if that's just a picture that they used, the image they used for the map. Introduction, game overview, game board, game components, game units, and here's your British units, here's your French units. You have regulars, light infantry, rangers, ships, landing, and then you have regulars, militia, Indian, and ships for the French. There's your unit strength. There's operational cards. Okay, cool. A lot of block games, Columbia games started doing that. I think started using the operational cards along with it. These look a little bit more involved than that. Here's game setup, sequence of play. You have operational phase, player order, card draw, weather die roll, bombardment phase, that's a sub phase of bombarding Louisbourg, player action phase, which is land move, raid, amphibious move, and ship. And then we have, those are the phases. And then you have army battle. So these are different battles here. You have battle rounds. So you roll the number of dice equal to their current SP. So yeah, it's going to be a dice roll, a bucket of dice, and then allocations. Let's see, for each 6 roll, you get a hit. So yeah, that's typical block game format or combat resolution. Battle retreat, ship battles, French reinforcements, how to win the game, solitaire play. Okay, that's kind of cool. Louisbourg 1758 was designed for 2 players. However, to learn the game or preference or to try different strategies, it can be played solitaire. Play each side to the best of your ability. So it's just basically two-handed. And then it'd tell you to... Also, there's a die roll here to maybe do some of the AI. Cool. And then they have the history of this conflict, which is why we play the games, or at least why I play the games. Cool. So this is a siege. So this is not only going to go into my French and Indian War playlist. Check that down below. It's going to go into my Worthington playlist. Check that down below. It's going to go into my siege playlist as well. So check that out down below. So we have a nice mounted map here. Let's save that for dessert. We've got a tray here, plastic tray from Worthington. They do that a lot. Here are the dice. You need a lot of dice because you're going to be rolling a lot of dice depending on the strength points. Here are those cards that they mentioned in here. And again, these are always going to be very good quality. There's a little bit of a linen finish on it, if you can kind of see that. Decent thickness. And there's art and language on each one of these. Very nice. Definitely done in the period and give you a feel. Some of these are British, some of these are French. So very nice there. Then we have all the cubes. I assume we have all the cubes. These are all individually wrapped. Well, not each individual cube, but they are packs of cubes all wrapped. How about that? Now, these are screen printed. So, you know, the nice thing about these is you don't have to apply the stickers. That's one of the downside of block games is applying those stickers, and I always misapply them. And then the compulsive nature of me, I look at it and it's like, it's a little off cue. And I hate that, but once you put them on, it's kind of hard to pull them off without ripping it up. So these are screen printed, so it saves you that time. However, you know, if you have a lot of play, I guess imagine these could rub off over time. But they look nice, I have to say that. And very legible. There's some ships there. So lot of cubes in here. I think I saw somebody talk about this, and they store the cubes like this so that they're not rubbing on each other, to cut down on the friction of them potentially rubbing off. You got some blank cubes here, but you don't have stickers, so I guess if you have a blank cube, I don't know if that's Fog of War, or I don't know how you would replace stuff if you had that. Some more British there. And now let's get into some French. Open up my little cereal packs here. Let's take a look at a French unit here, which is a militia. Oh my goodness, look at that. We're taking fire. It's a bombardment. It's coming in heavy. I feel like Louisbourg here. I don't think I have any games on this battle. I have a good number of French and Indian War games, mostly on strategic. Several of the tactical, mainly based. Bill Molyneux has several in this series on tactical, so I've covered that if you want to check that out. Again, that will be in my French and Indian War section, but I don't have anything on this, I don't believe, and this is pretty important battle. So there's your turn marker, and then we got another French marker here. Cool. So there you have it. That is put these off to the side. That is the components. So, I mean, a decent number of components, good quality, as always. And then we have the map, and again, mounted, very nicely mounted. I mean, it's turned over on the sides there. It's not an oversized map, so that to me is kind of appealing as well, because that to me denotes easy setup. So getting right into the action. You've got your bombardment table here, and you've got a similar bombardment table there. You have your turn track, you have your sequence of play on the board. You have your British forces and landing sites, and then we have French reinforcements over there. And then as you can see, it's kind of a point-to-point situation where, you know, you're going to have your pieces. The British, I imagine, are on this side, so they would be facing this way at different locations, and the French would be facing that way, so you wouldn't be able to know what you're facing until you attack it, and then keeping track of how much you reduced it. So there you have it. That is the contents of Louisbourg. Doesn't matter where they put them back, right? Louisbourg, 1758. Let's dump the dice out so we can see those in all their glory. Nice, good, chunky dice, rounded edges. That makes them roll better, right? And then, running out of room here. There's the rules, 2 sets of rules. And as you can see, you don't need a chart or any combat tables, because it is all it's all contained in the rules themselves. You're just rolling the number of dice based on your strength points, and then, you know, no hits there. I guess unless there's something on a 5. Sometimes you have games where the 5 might mean something as well. Anyway, there you have it. That is Louisbourg from 1758 from Worthington Games. Thank you, Grant. And thank you for stopping by. Love to know your thoughts on this one. I didn't find a lot of history on that. I didn't know this was really in development. I don't see the design credits as Mike Wiley and Grant Wiley. Okay, so Grant and his son. That's awesome. And I also have a section for Wiley in my playlist under my designers. That's normally Grant, but it could be Mike as well. I didn't distinguish between them, and I hope they're okay with that. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Let me know your thoughts on this. As I said, I didn't know a ton about this, but now that I see it, I'm liking it. This is a nice, easy to get into block war game to roll some dice and see how you can make out on the Siege of Louisbourg in 1758. Thanks all. Thanks for watching.